EDG just tosses another Lee Sin ban out, or if we have Jiejie comfortable enough to go back towards something like the Rek'Sai to go into it, maybe they want to take it up for themselves on that first rotation. But JDG now going a little bit slower with this last ban. Will be the Kalista and potentially here EDG. I'd love to see, well, either the Varus or the Aphelios, but it is going to be the Varus.
LoKen is going to get Aphelios. Hope on Ashe.
This is not the pick I'd like to see locked in first. I'm actually, Zoom didn't have the best of performances on this Volibear, so I'm surprised to see them putting such high priority on it.
Oh, okay. Maybe use it as a flex with Kanavi.
I imagine then what they're happy to do with, well, yeah, you've got the flexibility there with Kanavi, but I imagine they're just happy to go, right, you take the Aphelios, we'll go with that Ezreal, basically have the longer range into the Aphelios and still that later scaling AD carry as well. But yeah, curious to see such high priority on this Volibear.
It's such a different dynamic because when we see Aphelios locked in, a lot of the time it's like, oh, this could just be GG. Only 55% win rate, but with the better teams, we don't see as crazy of plays, right? Like we saw a messy day yesterday of RNG and FPX, but apart from that, even in the previous series with DMO, it's like, it's a lot of the time cut and dry that an 80 carry is going to do that anyway when the environments change. But here, EDG and JDG, they could be well matched. The Aphelios could be an even stay pick when JDG look at something like a Volibear and say, that's a bigger priority.
It's strange as well, like handing over the JJ's Lee Sin, this is the pick he likes the most and has definitely found some success on. So giving over, in my mind, two pretty big power picks towards EDG for the Volibear. But I mean, yeah, you can flex it. I feel like Kanavi has played the Volibear quite a bit in solo queue, but not having him on a carry or something that can have these big impact plays does seem strange. Looks like they're kind of thinking the same thing, where they're just going to toss that hover out the window and just pick up the Rek'Sai.
I mean, Zoom priority for JDG in the past has been a big thing, so getting that where Zoom would also play something like the Ornn, it'd be interesting to see what Aodi actually runs into it. But seeing a Rek'Sai on the Rift, something that Kanavi wants to opt in with so many jungle bans.
And you know as Aodi that you're probably going to have a lot of pressure towards this top side, because with that setup from the Volibear, it was very easy for that Rek'Sai to try and get in and make some of those plays. But we'll have to see if he's going to try and find success on this Ornn. Aodi going back towards this more team fight style, and it looks like EDG are going, right, we're going late game, boys. Aphelios, Ornn. Let's see what they want to go towards in these next few rotations. It looks like supports are going to be the port of call when it comes towards bans. But there is an option here for the likes of Scout to go towards something like the Azir, try and neutralize that mid lane. And then you've got this super strong late scaling composition. You just have to be careful of Yagao potentially bringing out something like a Kassadin, which could ruin this whole setup for EDG.
Let's just see what gets picked next, because support counterpick, we don't see that much. We're getting some mid lane bans targeted towards Yagao as well. Zoe, another great champion of his. Funnily enough, Yagao last year had a 0-11 loss rate on Rise, and there's just a part of me in this series that wants to see him pick it up and see if he can end that curse, because 2019, that's all I could think about, and coming into this year was the same. But onward and upwards, because JDG banned away 2 supports, but not the third that Meiko's played many times in the past, and that would leave Scout for a counterpick.
And it works super well here too. I mean, you're not going to be into anything that's too disastrous here. It works with the EDG wanting to go for this engage style, this team fight style. So already we're seeing very much EDG slamming down into this. We are going to fight at about the 30 to 25 minute mark. So we'll have to see if JDG, how aggressive they want to go. I mean, when you're already looking at a very strong mid-game composition, plenty of poke and pick potential, Yagao on his signature LeBlanc that we were just bigging up before Champ Select hit will work wonders here.
It's funny because Scout's also a great LeBlanc player. Both of them are some of the best in the league. So Yagao going to flex it first here in game number 1, while LvMao the option of maybe diving. And we talked about this yesterday and how Tahm Kench can facilitate.
Potentially, I think it kind of goes a bit different to what JDG are trying to do, though. I prefer the Braum. You still get at least that little bit of safety, and you can work well against the Ornn, but you still have a little bit more proactivity with this Braum. I feel like the Tahm Kench would have been like, okay, cool, we're stepping back. We're not going to really do anything here in this bottom lane. But I will feel like with you having this Rek'Sai and you've got strong lanes across the board, enabling all these lanes more works better for JDG and gives Kanavi more options to have influence on the map.
But EDG just said, let's throw a Galio into a composition that actually can attack. There is a lot of gap close and a lot of engage now for EDG.
Yeah, and I mean, you do have that engage where you can lend yourself off of Meiko's engage to set up for scout, but this is also a disengage tool, right? Because the way that you're going to have this work is on JDG side, throwing the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, get Zoom into the middle of things, Kanavi diving in as well. So a lot of these already going in and going forward ultimates or engage tools. So having this Galio as the opportunity to create distance for this Aphelios, give him a moment of respite, and allow him to set himself up properly in the team fight could work wonderful for Hope.
Let's find out how the lane goes. We've got a Galio into a LeBlanc. And we know that Galio wants to move at 6. We know that LeBlanc will start hiding in the shadows, kind of doing the same. But EDG and JDG, the expectations of the series was that the team that feels like it's ramping up towards the end of the split would kind of take it. And I know that's a very convoluted answer. But JDG right now are coming off a bit of a win streak. EDG had that devastating loss against DMO. And there's a lot of question marks as to where do EDG truly sit. I'm hoping to get an answer here.
And the reason we saw a lot of these losses, at least one over towards Rogue Warriors, the 2 over towards DMO, was EDG not respecting when they're strong. Not respecting the power that these early game compositions, early to mid game compositions that we see coming through from JDG, and fighting them at Dragon. Trying to go aggressive and end up losing out because, well, we're still waiting on Aphelios to scale. We're still waiting for our mid laner to scale. It didn't quite work out. So I want to see now if they can play a more patient early game and just not give over too much to JDG. But already, JDG are at us.
Is a flash going to be burnt? Concussive blows the heal for movement speed, and they find the last one. Yagao's over the wall with the distortion and aftershock. That's not going to burn him down. Sky Splitter first blood. JDG on the board.
And you got to expect this. When you've got a Braum, you've got this Ashe as well, that invade potential is sky high from JDG. They managed to pick off Meiko, who should have just flashed straight off the bat the second he got hit with the concussive blows. But unfortunately, not the case, and it means that he will go down, giving that first blood over towards Zoom. And Aodi is going to be cursing his support.
I was about to say, dude. Aodi would be so angry with this Thunderclaw's Volibear heading topside. He has PTA and, you know, good Sky Splitter just wants to spot out if anyone's trying to steal the blue buff. Went back and got a Ruby Crystal in this lane. So, advantage for Zoom, and JDG are going to lead the game with a gold lead. As Kanavi starts bottom side, Jiejie does the same.
And now you're kind of going, okay, well, this bottom lane play where you have Meiko and Hope trying to go a little bit aggressive, using this Leona, can't really work out, especially with no flash down. And because you're in the matchup against the Braum as well, Leona does struggle a little bit here, because once you hit that level 3, you can have the shield go up when Meiko goes for the engage. And there's a lot of power that LoKen and LvMao have now gained as well, being able to turn towards Meiko with this slow and really obnoxious CC chain that can come through from Ashe and Braum.
Good trade by Yagao there, I'll say. Oh, no, here we go. Hits level 2 first as well. Aodi has to walk back in the lane, and we see that the Ornn really struggles in the matchup in the early levels.
Yeah, and I mean, this is just going to continue, only amplified by the fact that, well, you've already got the kill going over towards Zoom, and now on this bounce back as well, you do have an advantage for Zoom. Kanavi's winning out in this jungle matchup against Jiejie at the moment, so they can look to try and make some of these plays as Kanavi actually trying to get an invade down.
Oh, but spotted out is Jiejie, so over the wall into Kanavi's waiting hands. He's in his own jungle, he's saying, get out. Good dodge away.
Will managed to sidestep, but JJ's bone plating popped at the start of that as well, so he knew that there was not a hope, and hell did he be able to fight against this Rek'Sai, with Zoom shoving in as well, now able to help Kanavi get over towards this buff. And this is what we talked, or towards these Krugs, this is what we talked about. This is actually JDG going back a little bit more towards playing towards Kanavi and trying to help him out, because, well, if you're going to shove in your lane like that and giving this farm and CS over towards Aodi, rather than trying to zone him off, you're definitely setting Kanavi up.
Yeah, the carry performance spring that we talked about. Lane already leading towards the top side, but you see Jiejie's going bot. Now, for EDG, we want to look towards Scout, that level 6 point that we talk about with Galio, and how he can get to one of those side lanes and blow someone up. I'll be waiting as that play does go out.
I'm curious to see, though, what's going to happen with Kanavi. Look, putting JJ behind, oh, well and good. Thumbs up, you're getting an advantage in your jungle. You are going to fall off more heavily than JJ, though. JJ will still have some utility with the Dragon Kick. So stealing away camps isn't enough. He needs to have an impact in these lanes. And I want to make sure that he's getting in to either help LoKen and LvMao in this bottom lane, with that flash not available for Meiko and Kanavi being on this bottom side, or setting Zoom up to be an absolute nuisance on this bruise.
Holy.
Press the attack strong on
But
Volibear.
you know what it is? Like, the Sky Splitter with Doran's Ring is insanely good this early on. Especially when you're an Ornn and you don't have enough resistance to fight it. You want to see Kanavi get in the lane? Well, he's bot, but so is Jiejie. I'm sure the ward spotted him out. 3 versus 3. Flash away from Hope immediately. The turnaround with teleport first by JDG. EDG need to get out of this one, but Meiko once again is going to be the target as re-engage with the Zenith Blade. They're busy on the backline, though. Target selection from JDG was slick.
And they get the 2 kills. They'll get the dragon here that just spawned. And LoKen as well. Actually not going to shove in particularly fast in this bottom lane, but might be able to get a turret play for himself. Zoom, I think you're good, man. You can back away. You've done your job. Although Yagao has gone topside to cover, so then Aodi can't take too much for that bottom TP.
That was so insanely clean.
Yeah. And it's good to see. Like, this is what we wanted from JDG. This is our spring split champions who are starting to at least look a bit back on form. And especially Zoom, who I've, at least in my head, been throwing a lot of criticism to and was expecting to have a lot of criticism of in this game as well. The TP came through, got the good engage, set up, and now has 2 kills for himself.
I'm not sure what happened at the start of this split, but JDG, off a cliff they went. But off in the start of this game, the pick off of Meiko, and this kill, JDG, forward they go.
And EDG read this. They were happy to go for this play. JJ was here to try and help, but Meiko, that little bit too close. We talked about that flash being down, so he can't do anything in this play. And Zoom as well, following up so well here. Onto Hope. They're like, most people would try and go for JJ there because you think, oh, he's CC'd, we can make this play. But flashing onto Hope, knowing that they can burst out this AD carry and force Hope even further behind compared to LoKen. Although, as I say that, he's a level up and has a little bit of CS, but that's only because of the lane pushing in at the moment.
I mean, AD carry without any summoners, though, easy to repeat. As 1 kill did go over to LoKen plus the assist. He has the Cutlass in hand. Another kill went over to Zoom, who now has a bounty. Moves back to this top lane and feeling pretty damn good with 6 in hand as well. Kanavi's up there. So the potential to look for something on Aodi or continue to pressure Jiejie, excuse me, through the jungle.
Curious to see if we get more repeat performances down in this bottom lane. LoKen will soon hit that level 6 mark and may want to try and make a play here, but definitely with Terrell coming up, we talk about JDG being the ones that hit this mid game and hit it hard. Well, they want to get that Rift Herald to make sure that they are snowballing themselves ahead and using the power spikes that will be coming up just off of that play.
Should be coming through with first item to speak of. Okay. Yagao has been sending Scout back in this lane more often than not. 10 CS lead, as expected. When you see the Galio this early on. Yagao also wearing rookie skin, which out of context sounds a little bit dark, but Yagao
the next horror movie of the LPL.
Oh yeah. Kind of nice to see like the respect from players. A lot of the time when we see the Kaisers here, it'll be the Jackie Love skin as well, yeah. Still doing this up top, aren't we? Oh.
Well, my eyes are actually drifting down towards bottom side because we look at that Rift Herald about to spawn. The beauty of having Ashe in your game is that she can hover around on this bottom side for a little bit longer. Sorry, I'm curious because I'm watching the minimap as to where LvMao is moving to, but yeah, LoKen can actually like stay down in this bottom lane and still have that global support come in with the ulti. And it looks like Kanavi, knowing that, hey, look, Scout's backed away, we've got the pressure with Yagao mid, we've got pressure with Zoom top, I can just pick this up. So they don't even have the opportunities, Hope Meiko, to make the choice of, we'll stay bottom lane and try and get down this turret with the chakrams.
Yeah, going for a roam, just to punch back in, shielded to Rand, as we're seeing a fight around this Herald. Kanavi in the back of the pit, does take away the Rift Herald, but kicked up, knocked up. Oh, she's going nowhere as EDG turn as 3, and JDG send in Yagao as well. It's a 1-for-1 as JDG eventually do pick up the Herald, but Zoom dies as well. Successful fight of EDG, but it does cost them the Herald.
And Yagao, unfortunately, getting caught out by Scout. Scout had just come back off of a recall, so he was full mana. He was able to move a little bit faster, and Yagao getting caught, using that full combo into Scout. And then Scout's just free to join in. He's got the ult, he can move faster, and it caught out Kanavi and Zoom.
Zoom does pick up a kill, but he does go down, gives the bounty over. As we'll watch this again. Fight from EDG, confident.
So, the reason they're so confident to go for this is that Galio.
3.
Exactly. You don't get a chance to move, and even though Zoom does get in here, turns around that kill onto Jiejie, it's like, yeah.
The bounce house. Dude, and when Volibear's in the air, his arms flail so wildly.
Yeah, look, Yagao, unfortunately, didn't back at the same time as Scout. Also getting caught and using his CC crucially onto Scout before that ult came through meant that, look, Scout's free to join in quickly. JDG got caught out. Still get the Rift Herald even though, so they can look to get more advantages out of this. It just has to be off of Yagao now where they try and make this play, where they would have preferred to potentially get that into the likes of LoKen.
Well, we do get a bit of a look as to how EDG can play their comp, just with the 3 members that were involved. The ability to nail down one target also great as Scout's still down in CS through the mid lane. Yagao playing quite well to start this game off at the very least. Far getting caught out as Kanavi. He's spotted out by this board bottom side. Mountain spawning. JDG in position, but Jiejie is still down the bottom side. He's just in the lane.
So they will now spot out that Jiejie is in the bush thanks to that Tremor Sense. Kanavi will be spotted bot side as well here, but with Scout back in base, I'm not sure if, and Zoom roaming down, I'm not sure if EDG can really contest this right now.
Scout doesn't have ulti, so danger.
But it is still the similar plan here where, or at least the similar problem that if we see if EDG do go towards this where, honestly, they're not really in a position to fight right now. You don't have the ult on Scout. Hope is not really in a position to fight, but
oh my
attempt
God.
to go for it anyway.
Even though Hope burnt that cleanse, that was instantaneous. Captain Hope. That was still sick.
I mean, it was nice mechanics. It was just bad decision making. EDG didn't need to burn that there. There was no way they're going to be able to fight against it. And now you've got that cleanse burnt while there's no objectives on the map. And JDG could potentially try and answer for a play.
This could be a good bait from JDG. Jiejie went over a ward. Meiko clearing out the control ward. Kanavi's down here, but instead just seeing him back away. Playing super safe, assuming that Jiejie's still here. As it'll now be spotted out that he's gone.
While all this is going on, though, Aodi has managed to get some of those turret plates on the top side, so he's actually not too far behind despite how horrible this matchup could have gone from like 3 kills onto this Volibear, and unfortunately not a single one for Aodi has gone towards Aodi or even given up a single kill, so Aodi kind of been a bit worse for wear thanks to the rest of the team, but has done a good job of keeping himself in check in this top lane.
Always an Ornn as well, and you're like, well, Ornn's going to be useful for the majority of the game. As Jiejie spotted out on another ward. He and wards this game have a love-hate relationship.
Watching where Scout is moving to, though, you can already see that JDG are a little bit wary about Scout trying to get these roams off. Still have the cleanse for LoKen, though, so not too much worry as long as he can flash away and get away from some of the CC that would enable Scout to get down towards that bottom lane.
Protobelt means wave clear is going to be a lot faster, though. So, with the Winds of War, plus the damage he now has, caught up in CS a little bit, while Kanavi still controlling the spot side.
So we are having, again, a little bit of a slower paced game, but, well, at the moment, and the reason for this is that Dragon isn't up yet. Essentially, this is how JDG force these fights out of EDG when they're not quite prepared for them. And especially with an Infernal Soul on the map, JDG are going to be delighted because now it really has to hammer home from EDG that they cannot give over these objectives. But it's right as JDG are getting strong. You just finished these 1 items across the board where Blade of the Rune King, super great for LoKen. Luden's Echo as well for Yagao, providing a good amount of that burst alongside the Electrocute. So people like Hope have to be very careful about where they position and if Yagao is able to get on top of them.
So many moments where Hope is going to be like, do I cleanse now? Do I cleanse now? You know, the LeBlanc, the Volibear with his Q as well, LoKen's arrow, concussive blows. There's a lot that stops an AD carry from being able to play League of Legends on the side of EDG, while now Jiejie towards the bottom side hasn't been spotted out, but there's a suspicion. Zenith Blade short. And Jiejie, third time maybe the charm if he comes back again.
Maybe eventually he can get there. Unfortunately,
Fourth
Meiko not quite able to get in there with the Zenith Blade. Didn't open up with the solar flare as well, because you can just leap across as LvMao and avoid that scot-free. But looks like maybe you might have your answer, Hysterics, as he's back
skin?
again.
Is he a gingerbread man? He's got a door made out of gingerbread.
Is it the? I didn't quite see it.
Just wait for LvMao. Because that is just...
I'm not going to lie, since coming to Shanghai, my knowledge of skins has gone way further down because I can't read what they say. So
hey, I put your client in English for the first half of the year.
And then it reset.
Yeah, well, we'll have to do it again. Jiejie comes through mid. He doesn't get the cannon. That's the ultimate insult if you're scout. But Kanavi, meanwhile, invading. Well, TP used topside, but junglers are going to have a biff. Kanavi with a level lead onto the Rek'Sai. Kanavi actually evading this because Scout is closer. With Zenith Blade going in the bottom side, we've got to fight 2 versus 2. Grabbing him with the Moonlight Vigil. Meiko absorbing the damage by Aodi's coming in with a great flank, but LoKen flashes away. Has the damage to get Meiko, but he flashes first, and Meiko survives while EDG collapse, and JDG will lure it in. Hope will die though, and Yagao traded off with a turret blow. That was a good recovery from the mid laner of JDG.
Yeah, the fumble from JDG, but solid play again from LoKen. Nearly able to get those return kills, and then Yagao at least to answer back. And the rest of JDG are playing the smart game. Zoom and Kanavi answer for that mid lane turret, and it means that even when those 2-for-2 kills go across, it's JDG coming out on top.
Somehow, Yagao with a great recovery.
And look, I love watching where you can see these really cool LeBlanc plays, but you gotta give it to LvMao and LoKen as well, because this is the power of Braum against this Leona. You can see he just pops up the shield. Meiko's caught between a rock and a hard place because he's used all his CC on LoKen. There's no follow-up damage from Hope because it's all been invested into the shield from LvMao, and then LoKen can turn these around, especially with that Blade of the Rune King completed. But now with this Dragon up, well, you've now invested a lot on both sides, and it looks like EDG aren't comfortable because no flash on Hope, no flash on Meiko, no of these big abilities to try and take this fight, and JDG will get themselves so point.
They can only do this once more though, and EDG are going to have to fight for the next one.
Zoom.
Zoom is big. Zoom started this game with first blood, and he's gone past it, even dying towards the top side. He still picked up a kill, remember. Black Cleaver was the rush into Righteous, so 2 items on this top pair.
And he's going from this more engage-heavy team fighting style. So as the Black Cleaver, it works well against the Ornn, but that Righteous Glory is very much for team fights, allowing you to be delivered in and getting these big ultimates off. And it's something that we see a little bit different from, like, say, the Triforce into a Death Stance and this kind of build. So he'll be nice and tanky and really a factor in these fights.
Feels good when you're someone like LoKen as well for the armor trading passive that Zoom's going to be applying most likely onto someone like Hope, Scout, maybe even Aodi. So JDG meanwhile picking up the Rift Herald. They're 3k gold ahead in this game number 1. And all Hope can do is really hit this turret, but LvMao's coming back down and they don't want to give over anything. JDG.
Look where Scout is. Scout's hovering though in case JDG go for an engage, but not going to be able to do so. So we'll get it back away. And as I said, like, no real turrets for EDG, no real pressure on the map right now. And it feels really like when we get towards this next dragon, all hell is going to break loose. And with JDG's advantage that they have right now and their compositional advantage, they should be able to do something about that.
So hard for EDG. They have to lay everything down right. Aodi does not have MR. And you can see Yagao already doing quite a ton of damages. EDG, meanwhile, are going to get their first turret of the game. And we're highlighting Zoom. First time in a while, I'd say.
Although on this top side, I was about to say, Kanavi does have Rift Herald, he picked that up, so they're getting more gold into Yagao. And right now, they're just like, look, Yagao, you're going to be the one that has to make Hope go pop, so give you more gold so you get more bang to make sure that this AD carry goes down.
At least EDG, the team that's behind, are trading. Only if they can support this top lane turret. It's called the Fort God used, but the turret will go down. Yagao now setting up for the engage, the binding underneath the inhibitor turret, while Kanavi contemplates going in further. JDG managed to get a 1-up, so cancel the trade. JDG push ahead.
And Yagao's also opted for this teleport, so again, you've got an opportunity to fight against Scout.
Oh,
we may
hello,
need to now.
peekaboo. Okay.
Yeah, but at least, look, you have Yagao who can now play off towards the side lane. Very strong at the moment as well, so not so much about trying to kill Scout, but can do a good job of, like, at least chipping away at these turrets and keeping Scout in check if he does try to play off in these side lanes with that teleport as well.
Protobelt, 2-item, cheaper Galio build. Going across the board, seeing what's coming up next, because we've got Dragon in 2 minutes. And we're going to have a LeBlanc with a Void Staff second.
Yeah.
Yeah, no more Morello's second. Let's go. Who cares about Severum?
Well, I mean, look, you're going to have some... Well, actually, at the moment, I was going to say some people a lot of magic resist, but honestly, Aodi doesn't have any there, and you're also looking towards Galio that's not picking up any.
The Merc treads, right? Like, but of course,
mean, pretty basic, but you're doing like pretty much true damage to a lot of the members of EDG with that pickup now.
Galio has it built in with the magic resist shield and just kitten. But apart from that, you're right. There's only the Merc treads built out throughout 4 out of the 5 members of EDG. Someone like Hope. Well, will he have any hope coming up towards this fight? A minute 30. EDG. How will you stop this one?
And that's the question here, because especially when you look at the way JDG are positioned right now, you get on that bottom side, so he'll pretty much be guaranteed a flank in this fight as long as the rest of JDG are battling over mid-priority. And their collapse and their engage can be super, super strong with Scout being pulled both directions. And do I try and engage and get onto LoKen and Zoom, or do I need to be playing and using my ulti defensively to try and keep Hope alive with that magic resist barrier?
Pretty much the only damage source in this team. Scout will have a bit, but not that consistent DPS that we look towards an Aphelios for. Set up to succeed. 40 seconds. 4K gold lead still. Yagao wants a pick before we set up the objective. Kanavi with Black Cleaver starting to be a bit of a threat as well. EDG have the inside track towards mid. Grouped as 5. They're going to draw the attention of JDG here as LoKen came to reset.
They've given river control to JD. Ooh, here we go.
Hang on, Scout with Protobelt forces the flash out of Yagao. Didn't expect that, but the Glacial Fissure in the backline. Meanwhile, the Shadow Crystal Arrow. Aphelios sends out the Moonlight Vigil with Hope getting an MR shield. Scout lands on the spot. Meiko dies. And EDG are going to be collapsed on here. You thought maybe they could get a wombo, but they've just thrown this one in the basket. And the basket's not a good thing. Scout under turret does a good job with Shielded Duran, but he'll be targeted up by Kanavi, and JDG lose no one.
JDG lose no one. They juggled turret aggro perfectly, and now they can go get the prize, Hysterics, which is going to be that Infernal Soul. And you can just see how far ahead JDG's composition is right now. Amplify that with all the extra gold, plus the gold they picked up, now the Infernal Soul. EDG needs so much more time to get into this game, and JDG just aren't giving them that opportunity.
This has been Team Diff. Game 1, JDG all over Epic Gaming.
And this combo between LvMao and LoKen is really difficult if you get caught on anyone in EDG to escape. And you can see great engage comes in here, and watch how JDG are like pulling apart this fight. So they end up causing Meiko to go in too deep because Zoom uses the ultimate out of that fight. And then once you get caught, as we said, by LoKen, the slows there, the slows from LvMao as well, it's this onslaught that never gives up that makes it so difficult to escape.
Who kills people when Hope dies? Like, that's my takeaway. Once Hope goes down, it's like, okay, Scout, you do anything? Oh. Alright. EDG are 5,000 gold behind. Dagda is 22 minutes in. We've got an Infernal Soul this early in the game. We're going to have an Elder at 28 minutes in the game. Baron's sitting there waiting, and Kanavi is being engaged on, but EDG aren't even confident enough to make this play.
No, they have no control of anywhere. They don't know where JDG are right now. And
nobody moves.
Well, JDG will know where they are. That Tremor Sense will come in handy, but all they're doing is buying time. Zoom is in that bottom lane. He's pushing in. You've got this monstrous Volibear here. You can do wonders in the side lane. And again, pulling EDG apart. You've got this fantastic long-range engage from JDG with LoKen. And Yagao who can pick off people as well. So you have to be so careful as EDG where you position, where you can't beat them when it comes to picks. As you can see.
Oh my god, if that landed.
You can't beat them when it comes to team fights. You can't beat them on split push.
Imagine giving a LeBlanc Infernal Soul and giving an Ohm Wrecker to a Volibear. Meiko locked on up. Hero's entrance from Scout. They turn around with the Shield of Duran, but that doesn't connect. The poke follows through. Infernal Soul to boot. And Hope may heal up, but EDG pressured back once again.
And you got that ultimate out from Scout, so that side lane pressure, or at least that pressure, comes a little bit easier if they want to try and continue forward. But they're all going to back away. They're going to start spending that gold and still creeping in these towers, getting ever so closer to the base of EDG and giving them a lot of time to position for the likes of this Baron.
There's a lot used by JDG as well. I'll say that Zoom's ult, LoKen's ult, LvMao's ult came through. But Zoom's ult at this point in the game, not too much of a cooldown. As EDG going to spot Kanavi top, but again, nothing they can do with Yagao hovering.
And you do have a brief window with those ultimates coming up from JDG where Scout won't quite have his up, so maybe they can make a play, but it's a very brief window. But I think overall what they're trying to do is just get some of these ultimates out from EDG. Well, they got the tower, but get these ults out from EDG. Continue to solidify this pressure on the top side where they've got control of the jungle. They can have Yagao move up here and start putting a bit of pressure onto this top turret. The chip damage from Yagao is pretty high right now onto these structures, and he's got some great ways to escape thanks to those ults and that distortion and all that good jazz.
But I want to see Zoom fight. He's got a Death Dance now. This Volibear has built to receive. Jiejie has to be careful where he stands as well. Zoom's starting to move over. Aodi the same. Baron looks like a gummy bear for JDG. For EDG, looks like a poisonous mushroom. But we'll see. That could change around depending. There's Kanavi into the pit. Kanavi out of the pit.
In, out, he shakes it all about. But JDG...
young at heart.
Yeah. Look, I'm just a big child, alright? So
I
either way,
though,
though, JDG still trying to get control of this top side. This is just about trying to deny vision as much as possible, make sure they can set up, again, for some of the pick potential that they have with Yagao, with Braum, and with this Ashe as well. And again, you've now got choices for JDG where you can draw EDG into these fights when you've got 2 minutes on towards this Elder Dragon. It looks like JDG are going to start up this Baron as EDG are trying to get back to
Sneaky, sneaky, EDG. The worm has begun. Gummy or not. Yagao over the wall into Meiko. And LoKen will be spotted out. Zoom is a threat. If JDG turn for the fight, well, Hope might cleanse again, but they're going to go forward. Off the Baron, into the choke. EDG kite back.
Getting the cleanse out of Hope, that was pretty big. He still has his flash, which will be very useful. But it does mean now JDG, their engage gets a lot easier, especially when you've got summoner spells up across the board. So flashes in from Zoom, flashes from Kanavi, even flashes in from Yagao are all things Hope has to be super worried about.
And it feels like with the Baron being started again, EDG, they lose this objective. They'll just continue to slowly lose out from here. JDG gets the Sonic Wave, but needs to get into the pit at 3k. Behind it, they want to take the 50-50 as Meiko takes the engage in the backside. It's stolen! Jiejie gets the steal, they get the kill, and it's Aphelios things. After we praise JDG, they have thrown the game and given the scaling comp their window back in.
And even with Infernal Soul, even with everything there for JDG, they make the mistake. Yagao, pressured by Meiko, can't get into the fight. He's out of there before anything kicks off. And JDG just crumbled.
When you have an 8k gold lead, why do you need to take the 50-50, Dagda?
You don't, is the honest answer.
What the hell? All right, well, Kanavi, he's dead here. There's a Proto Belt, there's a Shield of Duran. Knockdown wins the war, Justice Punch. Ultimate, and Scout gets a shutdown. Gold, still in favor of JDG, but 4k now with Baron on EDG.
It's Elder Dragon. I mean, you just saw Kanavi die. They just go get Elder Dragon as well. Unless they can somehow find a 4 versus 5 fight when they just lost a 5v5. I don't know. And JDG aren't even here in time.
Hope does a lot of damage. Zoom in the brush. Teleport being used by Yagao for the flank. Things are getting serious. The Zoom's running on in. They need this 80 carry. They lock him down. He has no QSS, but he goes golden. Yagao gets quite low, but Hope's still alive with Severum. He's kiting his way back. Zoom tries to kill him. Launches on him, but they can't kill him. The Volibear loses Hope. but Hope doesn't lose himself as Yagao and LvMao in the back line get Winds of War by Scout for a triple. And EDG don't give up because JDG do.
With Severum and Crescendum there, Hope can heal through everything. He nearly goes down 2, 3, 4 times in that fight, but just able to eke out enough that he can keep alive, keep on the Elder Dragon, and now EDG have brought this game right back.
They have an Ornn, they have a Galio, they have an Aphelios. We're hitting the mid to late game, and with Elder available, they're going to keep running through mid lane. Gold's going to get back to even. And JDG, from looking clean, calm, and in control, have just shown us they are nothing but.
You can see on the bottom half of that fight where Yagao just gets burst out instantly by EDG. Great job, which unlocks Hope. He's free to go as aggressive as he wants now because he knows he's not going to be pressured by LeBlanc. You don't have as much damage coming out from LoKen on this Ashe either. So yeah, you can see he's happy to go for these plays, and with all this extra damage just coming through, it dismantles JDG.
Another confident part, when you run into the Galio ult, you get the MR shield. As Hope, you'd be like, all right, cool. Survive a bit more from someone like Yagao, but he was already dead, and I don't know what you say about this one. I'm sure we'll let our audience do the talking. They'll have very strong comments about what we've just seen. But EDG get the push mid. They're rotating topside. There's a lot to be taken. Outer turret top, inner turret top. The jungle now belongs to them. Hope has almost 4 items with the Death Dance. Scout has them at Jiejie. And there is an Ornn giving them so many upgrades.
And they're just getting out of control here. Look, you can try and find some picks as JDG, but I think EDG at this stage realized we just need to group. We just need to not give them the opportunity to try and find these picks, and we should be able to win out in these straight up throws.
Dagged up. If JDG find a fight here, then I'd be a believer. But on to Zoom, the hero's entrance now used to engage. That's going to be wasted a fair amount, though, as we're going to call down the storm once more. Inhibitor goes down. Still, EDG break the base before JDG can break theirs. Well,
it is on this top side, though, which is a bit of a blessing here for JDG, where they can just push out against the super creeps when that Baron isn't going to spawn in 2 minutes. But I think, although it's all said and done, EDG are just getting to that critical mass point where they've outscaled. You've got the Death Stance coming in for Hope. Unless you can find a miracle pick from Yagao on towards Hope, which is doubled down hard as well, because you can see the exhaust for Scout. He's able to swap over with that Unsealed Spellbook. You're going to have a lot of CC and protection of the shield as well coming in from Scout onto Hope. So it makes it nigh on impossible for him to do it. But if Yagao can, if they can get onto Hope, there is a chance that then JDG can pull out the rest of the fight.
Notice the Knight's Vow. Also notice that Death Stance will be completed as Hope backs here right now. The beer buff, 7k, that's a lot of beer. Imagine, Baron's happy. Baron is literally like the tavern keep, right? He gives you money for beer.
Yeah.
You're right, and he's like, all right, guys, on me, on the house. When you see the Baron throws, he goes, hey, you guys are kicked out. See you in 24 hours.
Yeah, come back when you're less sloppy.
Yeah, 45 seconds to find out who's getting kicked out tonight. Because so far, Baron has been very generous with its gold for beer, courtesy of JDG. Let's see if EDG want to give the favor back. As grouping up with Aodi mid right near the Baron timer, they want to pick to secure. Yagao's going to be spotted out, but clearing out vision.
Trying to find as much gold into Hope. You can see, all right, look, we're not pushing in right now. Cool. Hope goes back. He's going to clear out those chickens. And I think as well, it's just trying to keep Hope as far back from any potential danger as possible. Kanavi's going to be jumping in on him. You're going to have Yagao who's trying to get onto the same. It is all about Hope and either killing him or keeping him alive.
And you're not going to burn him down with Poke anymore because he's got a Death Stamp. Heading towards Baron. There's a ward here, though. Look at where Aodi is. They need to cleanse and move that away, because right now, JDG know that they're not over Baron, so they don't have to make any rash movements. But Yagao on a flanking angle, clearing out some vision himself. He's going to be spotted topside. You can see EDG are like, okay, we see Yagao, we turn for the fight. Yagao's close, we back away.
and they know that they're safe to push up here. All that vision will have timed out in this river area, so it's not like Yagao can TP in behind them. And EDG now going to start up this Baron. This is where it gets a little bit dangerous. You can clear quick, yes, but it also means that you are funneled into this pit.
They need to turn now or take the 50-50. The turn onto Aodi has to flash away into the pit. EDG is still going to do the 50-50. The Baron will be secured by Jiejie, but JDG run on in. Scout with the hero's entrance, layers up, but they're going to get hope. And much like JDG did, EDG say, here, we're so sorry, you can have the game back.
Yeah, it's like, look, you know what? We feel a bit bad. We have too much beer here. Have a few for yourself. And JDG...
Everyone's drunk at this point.
I want to be. JDG managed to bring this back from the brink as EDG just had the game. Oh.
I think, as I finish my water without choking it, I can agree. Right now, that sounds pretty good. Having a beer with this game would be a great way to pose game one. How did it go? Well, back and forth we went. 30 kills later, JDG win the game. They should have won maybe 10 or so minutes ago. GG, not WP, but it was a lot of fun to watch.
It was interesting, I will say. A bit of a slower paced game, but I mean, look.